Lieutenant General Boonsin admits defying the government ceasefire in Cambodia-Thailand border clash. Former 2nd Army Commander Lieutenant General Boonsin Padklang told a seminar that he had disobeyed his government's ceasefire order only 6 hours after the July border clashes began. He said he wanted to reclaim territories encroached upon by Cambodian troops, including the zone surrounding Prasat Ta Krabi. That single sentence, framed as courage, is in fact an admission of disorder. It reveals a state whose chain of command split at the very moment diplomacy tried to close the wounds of war. It also exposes how Thailand's military culture across decades has normalized defiance as doctrine, the habit of fighting first and apologizing later. When a commander publicly admits to disobedience, it is not mere honesty, it is ideology. Boonsin's defiance fits a long lineage from the 1961 Preah Vihear judgment to the 2011 Ta Krabi, Ta Morn standoff where field autonomy became a badge of nationalism. Reclaim is the recurring word. It presupposes ownership, holiness, destiny. It converts disputed land into sacred memory. Every time a Thai officer uses it, legality collapses under the weight of myth. His speech in Nakhon Pathom was not an offhand reflection. It was theater for a domestic audience hungry to rewrite humiliation as heroism. The war ended on paper at 18 Lauk that evening when ASEAN observers logged the ceasefire in Kuala Lumpur. 6 hours later, he claims to have ignored that peace and advanced anyway. That timing matters. His rebellion was not against Cambodia, but against the civilian government that issued the order. It exposes the deeper pathology, a military that serves the idea of the nation more than the government of it. Inside Thailand, 3 fractures widen beneath his words. First, the civil-military fracture. Bangkok governs by law, the army by sentiment. Second, the command memory fracture. The Second Army has long carried resentment from earlier defeats. His phrasing reactivates that collective wound. Third, the political continuity fracture. By saying the previous government he signals allegiance shifts under the new Anutin administration, a warning that loyalty follows ideology, not institutions. For Cambodia, this confession is not a provocation but validation. Phnom Penh had already verified its compliance through the Joint Boundary Commission, documented troop withdrawals, and filed legal notices under ASEAN protocols. When a Thai general later admits that he rejected those same terms, Cambodia gains not only moral ground but procedural leverage. This single admission will strengthen every future demand for verification, transparency, and accountability. It turns Cambodia's quiet discipline into visible superiority. Bangkok's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has since scrambled to clarify that Boonsin's remarks do not represent official policy, a bureaucratic reflex to contain diplomatic damage. Yet that very act of denial confirms the fracture he exposed. The capital speaks one language of restraint while the field performs another of redemption. It is a war between legality and legend. The information dimension is equally revealing. His statement did not emerge through a military briefing, but through a social platform broadcast via the nation's page. That is not accidental. It is part of Thailand's internal morale repair, converting battlefield defiance into nationalist storytelling. The same pattern appeared in 2011 when leaked battlefield boasts became patriotic headlines. Every war needs its internal myth, and Boonsin just authored the new one. Cambodia, by contrast, gains through silence. It does not need to argue, only to archive. Each public contradiction from Bangkok becomes documentary evidence. Each Thai boast becomes a paragraph in Cambodia's long procedural memory, a ledger where patience equals power. The border is not just geography, it is the mirror of institutional order. On one side stands a state struggling to align its army with its diplomacy. On the other stands a state that has learned restraint as strategy. Wars end twice, once on the field and once in memory. What Boonsin confessed will outlive his medals. It will stand as proof that while Thailand fought for terrain, Cambodia mastered time, and Prasat Ta Krabi remains unmoved. By midnight.